Heimdall, the smug god of foresight. Among every antagonist Kratos encounters during the Norse saga, Heimdall stands as one of the most masterfully crafted irritants in the entire God of War franchise. He doesn't simply act superior, he radiates superiority the way a flame radiates heat. His smugness is practically a divine aura, one so potent it feels like a gameplay mechanic. Heimdall possesses foresight, not the poetic kind, but the weaponized version. He can see every movement, every intention, every twitch of a muscle before it even happens, and he never lets anyone forget it. When Kratos first attempts to strike him, Heimdall dodges with the bored annoyance of someone avoiding a fruit fly. He doesn't just sidestep, he smirks, makes eye contact, and mentally pats himself on the back for being the cleverest being in the room. His voice alone could start wars. Every line is dripping with mockery, contempt, and effortless elitism. Heimdall talks like someone who has watched countless futures unfold and decided that all outcomes prove he's better than everyone. To him, mortals are predictable, giants are predictable, Kratos is predictable, even the All-Father Odin, his own master, is predictable. Heimdall believes he lives above the tapestry of fate, floating like a god among insects. His treatment of Atreus is especially detestable. He circles him like a predator, poking at his insecurities, trying to provoke emotional outbursts. Heimdall operates like the worst kind of bully, one who not only knows every move you'll make, but why you'll make it. His taunts aren't random, they're sharpened psychological weapons. Yet, despite all his divine insight, Heimdall is blind to the greatest truth. Arrogance creates blind spots. His belief that no one could challenge him becomes his undoing. He cannot imagine the possibility of being hurt, which is why Kratos landing that first blow with the Draupnir spear is one of the most satisfying moments in the entire series. You don't just hit him, you hit his ego, his worldview, and his identity all at once. Heimdall is engineered to be hated. He's a character whose death doesn't just feel earned, it feels cosmic, like justice being restored to the universe after a long imbalance. He's not simply annoying, he is the divine blueprint of irritation. 2. Baldur, the unkillable menace. Baldur's presence in God of War doesn't just annoy the player, it infiltrates the entire atmosphere of the game. He is a constant shadow, a relentless echo of conflict. From the moment he appears at Kratos' humble cabin, casually speaking as if visiting an old friend, Baldur establishes himself as a villain unlike any other, charming, mocking, unstoppable, and utterly unhinged. At first, he appears almost curious, polite even. But within seconds, it becomes clear that Baldur is not there to talk. He is there to provoke, to draw out the violence he senses beneath Kratos' calm surface. His immunity to pain makes him immune to fear. Every punch, every slam, every bone-breaking impact only fuels his amusement. He laughs in the face of mountains crumbling under Kratos' fists. He taunts Kratos mid-combat as if they're playing a friendly spar.
I thought you'd be bigger. But you're definitely the one.
These aren't just lines, they are psychological torment. Baldur turns combat into a theater play starring himself as the immortal jester. But as the game progresses, his torment becomes more layered. Baldur is trapped inside his own unfeeling body, living in a state of emotional and physical frost. His every interaction drips with pent-up rage caused by his inability to feel anything. Not pain, not pleasure, not warmth, not even the touch of sunlight. The very gift intended to protect him becomes his curse, warping his identity and poisoning his relationships, especially with Freya. His hatred toward her is volcanic, and yet behind it lies heartbreak. Baldur isn't just an antagonist, he's a tragedy. A man robbed of sensation, robbed of choice, robbed of humanity. His obsession with ending Freya's spell turns him into a monster, but a monster forged, not born. By the time you fight him for the final time, the exhaustion is real. Baldur has been there since the beginning, haunting the story, attacking without warning, punching through plot lines like a god-shaped wrecking ball. His death is cathartic, not just because it ends a threat, but because it finally frees the world from his endless cycle of torment. Baldur is not simply annoying, he is a nightmare in physical form, a villain whose persistence makes his downfall one of the most emotionally charged moments in the series. 3. Hermes, the fast-mouthed trickster. Hermes stands alone among the Olympians as the god who speaks faster than he runs. And considering his speed, that's saying something. While other gods challenge Kratos with power, might, or divine authority, Hermes challenges him with pure, unfiltered obnoxiousness. He is the embodiment of the word smug. Hermes doesn't just insult Kratos, he performs insults. He delivers them with theatrical flair, skipping around the battlefield, dodging blows, laughing, pointing, and mocking, as if the end of Olympus is some kind of circus he was hired to host. Hermes calls Kratos slow, he calls him old, he calls him irrelevant. He acts like a teenager who has just discovered sarcasm and thinks he invented it. Every line from Hermes is crafted to irritate, sharp, witty, and dripping with a kind of Olympian entitlement that can only come from a god who has never once faced consequences. In battle, Hermes is less a warrior and more a mosquito, always out of reach, buzzing insults in Kratos' ears, landing tiny hits, and fleeing before retaliation is possible. It's not the damage he deals that irritates, it's the humiliation he represents. Hermes treats the destruction of Olympus like entertainment, mocking Kratos' motives and losses as if they're material for a stand-up comedy routine. But when Kratos finally corners him, when the jokes run out and escape is no longer possible, Hermes' bravado collapses instantly. He becomes desperate, pathetic, begging for mercy. And then he calls Kratos the monster. This moment crystallizes Hermes' entire character, a coward who masks fear with humor, cruelty, and speed. His death is one of the most brutal in the Greek saga, and it feels deserved, not because he was the strongest enemy, but because he was the most grating. Hermes is annoyance given godly form, a high-speed irritant who makes every second of chasing him feel like swatting an unkillable fly. Zeus, the ultimate betrayer. Among all the gods Kratos has faced, Zeus is the one who transcends annoyance and reaches pure mythic infuriation. He is betrayal incarnate, cold, calculating, and profoundly hypocritical. Zeus doesn't simply oppose Kratos, he creates the very path that leads Kratos toward rage, destruction, and tragedy. Zeus cloaks himself in authority, speaking in calm, commanding tones about order, destiny, and sacrifice. But behind those words lies a god terrified of prophecy, willing to kill, deceive, and manipulate anyone, including his own children, to prevent the cycle of patricide he himself started. What makes Zeus unbearable is his refusal to ever take responsibility. Every mistake he makes, he blames on prophecy. Every cruelty he commits, he justifies as necessary. He raises Kratos as a weapon, sends him to die when convenient, and then condemns him for the very violence Olympus created in him. Zeus is not merely a tyrant, he is a coward hiding behind divine authority. His betrayals build up like layers of rot. He murders Kratos out of fear. He manipulates the Titans. He lies to Athena. He destroys Sparta to break Kratos' spirit. He twists the narrative so that Kratos looks like the destroyer of the world, when Zeus caused the downfall of Olympus through his paranoia. Even in the final battle, Zeus refuses to confront his own actions. He clings to excuses, hiding behind prophecy, destiny, and the illusion of divine superiority. Kratos' fight against Zeus is not just revenge, it is rebellion against a cosmic narcissist who believes he defines morality. Killing Zeus is not the slaying of a villain, it is the shattering of a cycle, the breaking of an eternal chain of trauma handed down from father to son. Zeus isn't annoying because he cracks jokes or taunts like the others. He's annoying because he represents the worst kind of power, unaccountable, manipulative, and convinced of its own righteousness. He infuriates on a mythic scale.